guys, it's Miss Simpson and it's time for reading today. Today we're going to start talking about characters. Yesterday we talked all about figurative language and what figurative language literally means and what it means figuratively. And so today we're going to talk about character traits. And the reason that I want to talk about character traits today is yesterday I mentioned something about Mookie. And the reason that I did figurative language yesterday is because Mookie uses a lot of figurative language in our book. And that is a part of who he is as a character. Some people just talk in a bunch of different analogies, idioms, similes, metaphors. They talk like that all of the time. So today I want to talk to you about the basic things about characters, and that is their character traits. And I am sure that you've talked about character traits in a bunch of other grade levels, but we're just going to review over it today. So a character trait can either be on the outside or the inside. So outside, it'd be like what we see. So they have brown hair. They're tall with brown eyes, boots, shorts, green shirts. That is like their physical characteristics, their physical traits, and what we see on the outside. Now, yes, we care about that, but we don't care as much about their outside characteristics as we do their internal characteristics, their personality traits, so who they are as a person. So this is like their thoughts, their words, their actions, their feelings, and what we learn based on what the character does, thinks, says, feels. This is their personality, who they are. Are they funny? Are they kind? Are they mean? Those are all character traits that we seek that comes from the inside of a character. So like if you were a character in the book, my outside characteristics would be I have brown hair, I have glasses, I have blue eyes. Right now I have pink nails. I have, what else do I have? A ring on my hand, a watch on my arm. Those are all, a brown shirt on, a black necklace. Those are all my physical characteristics. But my internal characteristics might be that I'm nice, might be that I'm helpful, might be that I'm loyal. And you would get all of those things from me the more that you learn about me as your teacher. So right now, think of a few internal characteristics you think about somebody in your life. Like maybe your mom. It could be me, your mom, your dad, your best friend. Think, what are some, if they were a character in the book, what were some internal personality traits that they would have? So I want to look at the difference between feelings and character traits. So feelings are a character's emotional response to the actions around them. So they might feel shocked or exhausted or jealous or surprised, excited, sad, discouraged, annoyed, regretful, desperate, jealous. Those are feelings. Feelings are different than character traits. A character trait tells us who a character is, and they're usually seen through the character's actions. So are they a confident? That would be a character trait, something that actually describes the character. So you would know that they're confident based on maybe the way that they talk, by the actions. Maybe they are very sure of themselves. Maybe they're optimistic. They're happy all the time. They always think about the positive. Or they're caring. They're stuck up. They're mean, kind, nosy, bossy, patient, careful, sensitive. You find out those character traits just by their actions. Feelings and character traits are different. So a feeling would be, you're tired, you're sad, you're happy, you're mad, you're annoyed. But a trait is who you are as a person, your personality. And traits, we have those about characters in our book. So today we are going to read chapter 17 of How to Steal a Dog, and then we're going to talk a little bit more about character traits, and that's going to be part of your assignment for today, is the different character traits of a person. So let's go ahead and read chapter 17, and then we'll get on with our practice. I knew my day was going to be bad when Kirby Price called me a dirtbag in gym, and everybody laughed except Luann, or even Luann. I saw her. And then it got worse. When Mama got off work that night, the car wouldn't start. She turned the key and there was just one little click and then nothing. Well, that's just great, she said, pounding her fist on the steering wheel. Me and Toby looked at each other, but we both knew better than to say anything. She turned the key again. Click. She flopped back against the seat and said a cuss word. Toby giggled and I poked him to be quiet. My life just goes from bad to worse, Mama said. Then she sat there staring out at the window at the Chinese restaurant across the street, and a family came out. A real family, a mom, a dad, and 2 kids. They broke open their fortune cookies and read their fortunes out loud while they walked to their car. They all smiled and laughed and acted like they had the best life in the whole world. When they drove by us, they were still laughing. They didn't even look at us sitting in their car. That wouldn't even start. I wished I was one of those kids, eating my fortune cookie and laughing with my family. Mama turned the key again. Click. I stared out the window, praying that old car would start, and then I couldn't hardly believe my eyes. There was Mookie pedaling his bike up the road toward us. I ducked down real quick and I motioned for Toby to get down too. And naturally, he had to go, "What?" and sit there looking stupid. I grabbed his t-shirt and I yanked him down, and then I peeked out the window. Mookie had gone on past us and disappeared around the corner. Mama turned the key again. Click. I finally got up and the courage to say, "What are we going to do now?" I held my breath, hoping she wasn't going to yell at me because I didn't need that after that dirtbag stuff at school. Mama shook her head and let out a big whoosh of a sigh that blew her hair up off her forehead. She turned the key again. Click. "I guess we're sleeping here tonight," she said. I looked around us at all the places where there were people who would see us. The Chinese restaurant, the Quickie Mart, the Chevron gas station. "What if somebody sees us?" I said. "Y'all gone over there to the gas station, wash up," Mom said. "I'm going into the Quickie Mart to get us something to eat." I watched her run across the street, her jeans dragging on the ground. "What if somebody sees us?" I hollered out the window, but Mama didn't even turn around. So I am real quickly, this is what you're going to do for your assignment today, but you're going to do it with a different character. So I am going to draw their mama, and I'm going to draw it like this. So this, and I know that she doesn't wear a dress, but I'm horrible at drawing and I can only draw dresses. So this is their mama. On this side, I'm going to put her physical characteristics, her outside, and over here, I'm going to put her internal characteristics, her inside. So just right now, I'm noticing one thing that I see physically was she had old, ripped up jeans. She seems exhausted. That would be something that's physical. That's a feeling. She seems exhausted. To me, internally, Mama seems hardworking. She's working really hard to get money for her kids, isn't she? She's doing all that she can. She's doing her very best. I'm going to put Mom up here so we don't forget. She's very hardworking. What else is she? She seems like she is caring. Now, when I say caring, the reason I think that she's caring is she is giving up a lot. She's gone through a lot, and yet she still is trying to keep this family afloat and make it as normal as she possibly can. So as I read, I'm going to continue to log different physical characteristics that I see of Mama and different internal characteristics that I can tell from their mom. The next morning, Mama walked over to the coffee shop to get her friend Patsy to drive me and Toby to school. I like to die when I saw Patsy pull up beside our car, roll down her window, and say, "Come on, y'all." She had a big poofy hairdo that stuck up way on top of her head and ugly sparkly earrings and a cigarette hanging out of her big red lips. Look at that. That is all physical characteristics of Patsy. She had crazy hairdo, sparkly earrings, cigarette hanging out of her mouth, big red lips. That's characteristics of Patsy. Do we know how she is internally? Is she a good person, a bad person? We don't really know yet. We just know that she looks a certain way. Her car was rustier than ours with bumper stickers all over the back. My other car is a broom, honk if you love Jesus, and stuff like that. I climbed in the back seat and slouched down as low as I could. Please don't let anybody see me, I prayed, especially Kirby Price. Just before we got to school, Patsy said, "Look at that." Me and Toby looked where she was pointing. There was Mookie pedaling along the side of the road on that rusty old bike of his, a little American flag waving in the breeze. I've seen that man all over town, Patsy said. He sure looks happy, don't he? I slouched back down in the seat and turned my face away from the window. I sure wish Mookie would get on out of Derby instead of hanging around like he was. Imagine being that happy when all you got in the world is a beat-up old bicycle, Patsy said. When we passed him, she waved out the window and hollered, "Hey!" Mookie tipped his hat. After school, me and Toby had to walk back to the car. It took forever, and Toby kept griping and hollering. "Wait up, Georgina!" Then he kept asking, "What are we going to take Willie back to Carmela's?" I pretended like I didn't hear him. Finally, he grabbed my backpack and he yanked. I said, "When are we going to take Willie back to Carmela's?" And I whirled around to face him. "I don't know, Toby. Okay." I stared off up the sidewalk again. Toby trotted along beside me. "She's looking for him, Georgina," he said. "I know. I bet Willie wants to go home." "I know. Maybe Carmela has some money now. Maybe Gertie gave her some." And I stopped. "Look, Toby," I said, "I've got to figure this thing out. We went to all this trouble to steal that dog, so we might as well get some money out of it, right?" Toby shrugged. "I guess." "What do you mean, you guess?" I said. "That's the whole reason we got ourselves into this mess in the first place." "What mess?" I started walking again, but Toby grabbed my arm. "What mess, Georgina?" he said. "Are we in trouble?" "No, we're not in trouble." "Then what mess?" "Look, Toby," I said, "Carmela may not even get any money. If we take Willie back now, we probably won't get anything. But if we wait much longer, well, I don't know." "What'll happen if we wait much longer?" Toby said. "Georgina, is Carmela gonna call the police?" "No. But what if she does?" So we might get arrested." "We're kidnappers," Toby said. "We are not." "Well, dog nappers then." Toby's face was puckering up like he was going to cry. "What if we have to go to jail?" he said. "Shut up, Toby. There's no such thing as a dog nappers." I hated it when Toby started thinking up stuff I should have thought of. Maybe we were dog nappers, and maybe we could go to jail. I pictured Willie's face on a milk carton, his head cocked and his ears perked up. "Have you seen me?" it would say underneath. And Carmela would be sitting there at the kitchen table with her Cheerios, looking at Willie and crying her eyes out. "And what about Willie?" Toby interrupted my thoughts. "Think about him," he said. "I bet he's sadder than anything." "Shut up, Toby," I said. I sure didn't need Toby heaping more bad feelings on top of me like that. Neither one of us said another word as we made our way along Jackson Road toward the car. Toby kept on finding things on the ground and saying, "Hey, look what I found." A quarter, a cigarette lighter, a pencil. And then, right before we got to the car, we came to one of those lost dog signs with Willie's cute little face smiling out at us. I shut my eyes and we were all the way past it, but I could still feel him looking at me. When we finally saw the car, Toby darted ahead. "Hey, look at that," he said, pointing to the ground. I looked down at a shiny quarter nestled in the sandy road next to our car, and then I noticed something else. Tracks in the sand. Tire tracks. Bicycle tire tracks. But Toby didn't seem to notice. He just grabbed that quarter like it was made out of gold. I shuffled my feet in the sand, making those tire tracks disappear, and then I unlocked the door and climbed in the back seat. So what could that mean? The tire tracks next to the quarter. What could that possibly mean? Do you think Willie's spying on them? Do you think Willie knows where they live? Do you think Willie's going to tell that he knows that they took Willie? Mookie, I mean. Do you think Mookie knows? Do you think he's going to tell about Willie? I don't know. Let's finish this last paragraph. Me and Toby stayed in the car all afternoon eating graham crackers with jelly and playing Crazy Eights. Toby kept asking me when we were going to take Willie back to Carmela, but I didn't even answer him. I knew that was making him mad as all get out, but too bad. I didn't want to talk about Willie and Carmela. I didn't even want to think about Willie and Carmela. I had this bad feeling that I'd gotten myself into a mess, and it seemed like everything I did stirred that mess up more, and stirred it up so much I was starting to stink. Just like Willie said. Mookie said in chapter 16, sometimes the more you stir it, the worse it stinks. And we talked about that yesterday. He didn't literally mean stir it and it would stink. He meant the more that you continue to let this go on and on and on, the more you lie, the worse it's going to get. So today, for your assignment, you are going to draw a picture of Georgina in the middle of your paper. Now, I'm not asking for anything fancy, guys. It can be just like my little stick figure. So right now, get out a piece of paper and draw a picture of Georgina in the middle of your paper. And at the top, I want you to write Georgina. Oop. On one side, I want you to write external. And on the other side, I want you to write internal. You are going to list the characteristics, the character traits that Georgina has. So externally, how does Georgina look? What does she look like? We've talked a lot about how she showers in McDonald's, that she has crazy looking hair. She doesn't always look put together. She looks messy. And then you're going to tell me the internal characteristics of Georgina. So think about Georgina. Who is she? What do we know about her? Is she nice? Is she happy? Is she nosy? Is she bossy? Is she independent, inconsiderate, determined, protective? What do you think? So you're going to list all of those internal characteristics that you think Georgina is. Now, I am going to put the anchor chart. I'll show it to you. I'm going to put this anchor chart, and I'm not going to put the feelings. I'm only going to put the traits just to give you some ideas of some different character traits that you could write down for Georgina for her internal character traits. External is just what she looks like. All right, so when you finish that, take a picture of it and turn it in. Tomorrow, we are going to read chapter 18, and we will be finished with our book on Friday. I'm so excited for y'all to hear the end of it. All right, guys, I love you all so much. Have a great day.